Good evening, guys. Today we are going to present our group presentation, our case study. Our case study topic is problem at Boeing Aerospace. We are tutorial number 10. Our group number is 20. Our tutor name is Edlin Somori. The group members are Alvin Joshi, Aridi Prakash, Shubham Kanimai, Stanio Sachi. So this is our table of contents. And the next slide is introduction. The Boeing crisis, a global aerospace industry concern. So today we are diving into the critical topic, the ongoing crisis at Boeing, which is reverberated throughout the global aerospace industry. This isn't just a company specific issue. It reflects the broader concerns about safety, corporate responsibility, and the regulatory practices with the aviation. Boeing, a major player in the aerospace sector, it plays a major role in the whole aerospace sector. It is facing a significant challenges that have not only shaken public trust but also impacted the global aviation security. So the company failures have exposed deeper systematic problems and pose urgent questions about the sustainability. It is also it is questioning the global aviation infrastructure. As we explore this case of study, we will uncover the factors behind the Boeing fall from grace, examining engineering mishaps, leadership failures, and the regulatory lapses. So, our next slide is concepts of the study. The importance and implication of Boeing's crisis in the global aerospace industry. The Boeing crisis is far from singular corporate issue. It has profound implication for the entire global aerospace industry. Boeing and the Airbus essentially dominate the commercial aviation market. And when one falter, it threatens the stability of entire supply chains and the safety protocols that the aviation world relies on. The Boeing's technical errors and the leadership blunders are more than just business missteps, and they affect international travel, regulatory oversight, and also it affect the global logistics. The pandemic has had already strained and affected the airline industry, and now the Boeing's problems ranging from failed safety standards to supply chain disruptions have compounded these challenges. This is a time sensitive issue with far reaching consequences for both business and consumers alike. So when we are moving to the next slide, there we can see the significant data regarding the study. So the in these two slides, we can see two bar charts. It is giving the data like when we dive into the same some key data that highlight the Boeing decline. Following the catastrophic failures of the 737 MAX aircraft, Boeing's reputation took a massive hit. The tragic crashes in 2018 and also in 2019, it is only the beginning. Even in 2023, fresh safety concerns emerged when serious issues were found in 737 Air Max aircraft. It was operated by Alaska Airlines. But despite these stepbacks, Boeing still managed to rebound somewhat in terms of deliveries. It increasing from 157 in 2020 to 528 units in 2023. So from here we can see a huge increase from in within 1 year. Yet this recovery is fragile and Boeing internal struggles such as the massive labor dispute in 2024 add further the complexity to the company's road to redemption. So our next slide theoretical framework will explain by Stanio.
I am Stania Soji, so I'm going to explain about the theoretical framework, and the first one is pestle analysis. Now, let's explore the broader environmental forces at play through a pest analysis. Politically, Boeing ties to government contract, such as the 23.8 billion in the U.S. defense contract, means the geopolitical issue like the Russian-Ukraine conflict has a direct impact on Boeing's operations. Economically, Boeing's losses are straightening with a 6 billion loss in 2024 and significant job cuts. Socially, Boeing's trust with the public has been tarnished due to the past crashes, but the company is investing heavily in passenger safety technologies. Technologically, Boeing is exploring new advancements like AI and electric aircraft to stay competitive. However, legal challenges and increasing environmental concerns only add to the pressure Boeing faces. Now let's discuss next slide, SWOT analysis. Looking at Boeing's internal strengths and weakness, we see a company that remains a giant in commercial aviation, defense, and space. Despite the significant challenges, Boeing continues to enjoy a stronger order backlog. However, the safety concerns surrounding the 737 MAX, coupled with its over reliance on complex supply chains, present major hurdles. Nevertheless, the company has opportunities, particularly in booming satellite industry, although threats from the rivals like Airbus and emerging players such as COMAC could undermine Boeing's duopoly. Let's discuss next slide. Porter's five force. Let's turn our attention to Porter's five force analysis to better understand Boeing's competitive position. The competition from Airbus remains high, especially as Airbus has introduced more efficient model like the A321XLR. Meanwhile, the threat of new entities remains low due to the immense capital and regulatory hurdles in the aerospace industry. However, Boeing, Boeing's reliance on supplies for critical components like engines and fuselage means that the bargaining power of suppliers is high. The bargaining powers of buyers is moderate but growing growing as Boeing faces increased scarcity over safety. Finally, while su- su- while substitutes like high-speed railway exist, they are not a direct competitor to the air travel in most markets. So the threat of the substitutes may remain low. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shubham Kanani. I am going to explain data analysis. Uh, Quality thematic analysis was deployed to distill complex non-numerical data into logical ideas to access Boeing's ongoing difficulty. This approach was chosen since the problem is complex and encompasses areas such as company culture, managerial conduct, workplace relationship, regulatory interactions, and the public's view. In addition to management measures to provide an additional perspective of mm, Boeing's catastrophic mistakes, the goal was to find recruitment patterns, casual factors, and further demonstrate that Boeing's pandemic mm, predicament constituent was analytic for this study because it allows us to develop into the non-numerical aspects of Boeing issues. Boeing's decision making focused on cost reduction, which led to compromise in safety and manufacturing standards. This approach also highlighted the organizational and cultural factors that contributed to Boeing's downfall, including leadership disregard for quality control in favor of profitability. This analysis further reveals that these systematic issues were not only present internally at Boeing but also impacted its relationships with regulatory agencies and suppliers. Furthermore, Boeing's supply network vulnerability, which is extra exacerbated by interruptions in productions in agreement. Uncertainty highlights weaknesses in international aerospace logistics. Can you please do the next slide? Short term and long term solutions. Here, the best possible short term solutions are the certain of real time inspections of compliance supervised by the FAA and uh, rigorous reinstrument of independent safety auditing into the manufacturing process. For short term solutions, we recommended immediate actions to regain trust and restore operational continuity. First, Boeing must implement a real-time inspection supervised by the FAA and reinstate independent safety auditing throughout the production process. This will ensure that safety lapses like those in the 737 MAX 9 incident do not recur. Additionally, Boeing needs to address the labor unrest by engaging with workers through transparent grievance procedures and ensuring fair compensations and retirement plans. By addressing these issues promptly, Boeing can stabilize operations while regaining public and employee trust. Long term, an organizational and cultural recognition centered on engineering autonomy, moral leadership, and i- in ingrained quality management is what Boeing needs for its operational to be resilient in the long term. This is restabilizing an upstream feedback system where engineers and ordinary employees are allowed to express issue without fear of repression and serving technological decision making from profit driven managerial objectives. In addition to focusing on advancements in technology, ongoing R&D expenditure should also be made to improve system coordination, preventative management, maintenance, and the reduction of desired errors. Now, can you please do the next slide? If we're talking about recommendation and its impact, first, by integrating independent safety auditors into every phase of the production procedure, Boeing needs to systematically recruiter is quality management architecture. This auditor could serve immediate defense against departures from engineering procedures conforming promptly to the FAA or an outside regulatory body. This necessary to avoid mistakes resembling the missing parts dissolved in the 337 MAX 9 incident, which made flaws the supposed have already been detected before the plan was launched in public. Uh, to address Boeing's deep-rooted issues, we must look at both short-term and long-term measures in the integrating integrated safety auditors at every stage of production will provide immediate safeguards. Moreover, giving engineering leaders more authority in strategic decisions making can help ensure that design compromises are not driven by cost-cutting motives. Labor relations also required urgent attention by implementing a robust workplace relations program and offering legal guarantees for wages and retirement. Boeing can Boeing can alleviate the tensions that threaten to disrupt its operations. These actions will restore public confidence, stabilize production, and help Boeing regain its market positions. Now, Arti Prakash, continue.
Hello, I'm Arati. I'm going to explain limitations of proposed solutions. However, it's important to the note limitations of these solutions. Integrating external safety auditors into Boeing's production process may face resistance, particularly when it interferes with existing production schedules. Furthermore, the culture transformation required within Boeing will take time. The deeply integrated, profit driven mindset within leadership may push back against changes in governance that prioritize safety over speed. The shift will not yet immediate results, and in the short term, delivery schedules and financial performance may take a hit as the company rehabilitates. Moving to next slide, the next slide is external factors or future events that influence the output of recommended strategies. External factors will play a critical role in determining the success of Boeing's recovery efforts. Increased regulatory certainty could slow down certification processes, leading to further delays in production. Additionally, geopolitical tensions such as trade wars or disruptions in supply chains could affect Boeing's ability to source components, uh, components leading to increased cost. The growing competition from Airbus, coupled with the rise of state-sponsored aerospace companies like COMAC and HAL, may threaten Boeing's dominance in the market. To succeed, Boeing must remain agile, invest in technological innovation, and maintain strong relationships with the regulatory bodies and suppliers. Moving to next slide, its conclusion. In conclusion, the Boeing crisis is a multi-faceted problem that stems from a combination of internal failures and external pressures. The companies focus on short-term profits over long-term safety, and quality has deeply affected its credibility and operational stability. Restoring Boeing will require uh, addressing system issues such as improving safety oversight, rethinking labor relations, and empowering engineering terms to make independent decisions. However, Boeing's recovery will also be influenced by external factors such as regulatory changes and geopolitical tensions. With the right strategies, Boeing can rebuild with it will take time, investment, and commitment to long-term cultural changes. The last slide is references. Here you can see the relevant references regarding the study. Thank you.